Hi, Eurocine Expo 2025 in a very hot Munich, although it's starting to rain outside, so that's a little bit better. I'm sitting next to Bebe Dierken.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Thanks for coming to see us. Now, you've had a very interesting career, but I'd like to dial it back to how did you get into it? Where did it start for you? Where did the fascination that's kept you going through your life, your career, that's informed everything you do? Where did it come from? How old were you when you first decided I want to do this?
Yeah, I don't really know, because it's not that I've a lot of people have this story. I was 4 and I saw this film, or my father did this or that. I didn't have any of that. So actually, when I did my O-levels, I didn't really know what to do, and I started. I was good in art, so I started paintings, becoming a painter, and that was so boring that I had to leave after a year, because I had to paint. These on a wooden table with colourful pumpkins and a white tablecloth for a year, and I thought, okay, that's me. Bye. And started photography, which you could do next to this art school, and I think this is when it actually started.
Yeah.
Saying
so
that,
looking through a viewfinder kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always had to deal with a picture somehow. First it was painting, then it became photography. I became a photographer. I learned photography. And then I was working for a photographer in Hamburg, and actually one of the very first DPs in Hamburg, Bella Halben, she saw me at this photographer, and she said, I like the way you work. Right. Would you like to have a look at a film camera? And I didn't even know that exists. I had honestly no clue.
Yeah.
So she sent me to a commercial, and that's the first time I saw a camera, and that was that. I saw the camera, a BL3.
Right, yeah.
Maybe a 4, I'm not fully sure, but it's... that's the first time I saw it, and then I went to the camera rental as the first girl in the camera rental there, first lady, ever.
Yeah.
And in Hamburg, at least. Yeah, and from there, bit by bit, worked my way up.
But what fascinated you about the camera, in the sense that it was, you've been dealing with, whether it's a painting, a stills camera, or a, film or video camera, you're dealing with a frame. Is that, suddenly everything was defined through that, and it clicked and you found the one that really worked for you, or was it?
I think it's a part of definitely a storytelling aspect is there, but it's also conserving something. Right. I think there is something of you want to preserving or creating a memory, capturing it.
Record.
I think that's what I like about it.
Yeah. And does that still inform your view of it now? I mean,
I think if you once get infected, I think this virus never goes away. Unfortunately, it's not that everybody at one point thinks, it can be so hard, and you think, should I maybe go in another path? But then there's nothing else you really want to do.
Yeah.
So
it's a passion.
I love it. It's a passion, and I think it stays a passion. Yeah. Especially because I come from film, so it's so I've done the whole film route as well, and that's a beautiful experience. Yeah. Which I'm so happy that I was able to have.
Do you think that also instills a sense of discipline? Because, you have to respect film, it's a finite, what's on the roll kind of thing, and it's... I read a thing the other day, when people are shooting on IMAX, acts as the Sinners film, they were... Because IMAX, essentially they can only shoot so much at a time because it's so physically massive.
Yeah.
It really sharpened up their game, and it went through that whole production by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I really like that. I really think sometimes you're just wasting, when they let the camera roll for ages and ages. Oh, poor editors, poor everybody. Yeah. Poor data wranglers, all of this has an effect, obviously. And why do you need to store all this rubbish? You don't. No. So, I really like if everybody's alert. I still like if people just listen. I don't have to call them in. Just have an interest in what you do, or what we do. Be part of it, and don't wait for being invited to be part of it. I like people being active.
Yeah. Going back, so when you started in film, in the industry.
Yeah.
Where do you think you found your feet? Where do you think that's what I want to be, or this is where I want to be, and that I can see a path for me now? Was there ever a point like that?
No, I mean, I've been a focus puller for very long, and I really love that.
Yep.
And I just realized at one point that I just have to move on. I don't want to sound arrogant or anything at all, but I felt like I've done everything you can do. Yep. I've been on big shows. I've been the A focus puller. I've done my bit.
Yeah.
And I wanted another challenge, and I think this is natural then to move on from there.
Yeah.
And I started then operating, not very long, and went into DPing because been a focus puller for a very long time is running out. I don't have 200 years, so I have to get have to speed up a bit.
That's a huge part of it. You never stop learning, do you? And
never. And I think this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it even now where the industry is so quickly evolving. I mean, I've been on because I made the transition from digital to film. I've been on a film as a focus puller where they had the first digital Alexa, and it was a Roland Emmerich film, and they shot it in Berlin and Babelsberg. And this is the first time I've heard people saying film is dead, and I'm like, no, film is not dead. It's there for 100 trillion years. It will stay forever. And of course, I've been proven wrong. And I think it's the same now with AI coming. With AI, with all the apps you're using.
Yeah.
So this time round, I'm a bit more alert, and I'm trying to embrace it. I know there is danger in it. There are challenges you have to overcome, clearly, but it's not going away.
No.
If you wanted to stop it, we're too late.
Yeah.
It's already big time everywhere. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can with all the apps, Unreal Engine, Blender, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm fully diving into all the tools that can help me.
Well, that's it. They're tools, aren't they? And that's the way we should look at it. And but the weird thing is that they're evolving tools, aren't they?
Yeah.
It isn't just, you could equate it to when Photoshop came out, people had learned to do illustrations with airbrushes or whatever, or
I know.
paint, ink, whatever.
Yeah.
Suddenly you've got, has my career disappeared? No, it hasn't. It's just the tools have changed radically, but the same understanding of colour, of blending, mixing, all those sort of things is still there. You've got a different set of tools. The thing with AI seems to me, in a fairly ignorant way probably, that it's the tools themselves are evolving. We're kind of involved in this big beta testing of what's going on in a way, don't they? But you're right. I think if you don't jump on it and play around with it, because you're only going to get more scared of it if you don't, aren't you?
I mean, there's so many. I've actually had a call the other day, and they were just saying there's so many digital cinematographers out already. They only do that. They do everything on AI. Wow. There are film festivals where they just do that. So you show films being created like that, and you can. It's very time consuming. I can say that, and it's it's very difficult to guide it. But it's difficult for me. I'm sure there are people who are find it really easy. I would say I'm on a medium level.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not on a pro level. But these people are out there, and so it will become part of our industry. And I'd rather embrace it and see what it gives me and new possibilities. And it does have new possibilities.
Yeah.
So AI, here we come.
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, embrace it, kind of thing. So. Well, where do you see your career going in the future then? Like you say, you're quite happy to, take what comes on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Would you, do you want to stay a cinematographer, or would it be, looking at other areas of what goes on? Yeah.
No, I want to stay as a cinematographer if I can. It's not all in my hands, and I really would like to go on to really big productions, because I think this is where a lot of experienced female DPs still missing. So I would like to be. It's. I know there are more and more women starting to be on a maybe second block or on a third block, but I think You know, I want to open shows.
Yeah.
I clearly want to open them. And there's a lot I would like to give, you know. And maybe at one point people want that. At the moment, I'm still more in the medium sector, I would say, like high-end television or sometimes a cool independent film. But I keep on putting CVs out for the big ones. You know, they want the CV, and I'm always the glorious number 2. So it's about time I get the glorious number 1.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, hello.
But, you know, I was talking to Flora Feschke a little while ago, and
Who did you talk to?
Flora Feschke.
Yeah.
Grew up in Hungary, and someone told her at some point, I don't know, it was an AC or someone said, well, women don't do this. That you know, that it wasn't those exact words, but what a thing to say to someone. And you know, good on her for saying balls to that kind of thing and carrying on. But it's an odd industry, isn't it? Because it's you know, it's one of those industries that is massive, multi-billion pound, but schools and universities, unless it's actually a film school, don't really talk about it as a career path for anyone or whatever. And then when you get into it, there's all the issues around weird shooting times and all that sort of stuff. And there's too much to put people off. But we could do so much more to get people in from ground zero kind of thing, you know, and you know, show to everyone that it's there's umpteen careers in it. But the fascinating, you know, like you've just demonstrated, you can go through so many different roles in a career. And on top of that, I want to shoot all different kind of genres, not just one, not just like women giving birth or you know. I really like action films because that's what I've done when I was a focus puller. I've done quite a lot of that. But going back to the whole industry thing, of course, it's, you know, when also Britta is there, Britta Mangold, we both started together. We actually did we had a WhatsApp group, and that was based on the Cinematographinnen and you know, we were 5 women which we knew in Germany, and we thought, okay, we need a group, we need a little WhatsApp group, something with network, because we never had that. We've always been on our own, fighting for ourselves. So this is when we started, and it became the Cinematographinnen, and they all done a fantastic work. But we had it was our little tiny WhatsApp group. You know, and it's been, of course, difficult when you start, you know, and I still think it's good that people, I'm grateful that I've worked my way up, because I think if you come from film school, you, which is great, but I think you talk a lot about our films, you don't necessarily make them. So then you come to set, and you've learned all that, and suddenly you don't know about all the rules. I see them there, they look like a rabbit in the headlights. They're like, what? And then time pressure, you have to finish, you know, all these things. You don't know what the crane is, what do they do? And you might have somebody who's a little bit cocky because, you know, everybody sees that you have no clue. And most of them will help you, but you will also meet people who don't help you, you know. They will make your life very difficult, and you have to have the stamina to go through that. So I think if you come from film school and going back to helping people, I think this trainee system has always been a good system. So you can, you know, start without having responsibilities. I mean, if you're a doctor and you're a certified doctor, you don't start on the biggest heart operation, open heart surgery that costs I don't know how many millions. No, you give little instruments to the geezers. But you have the knowledge, and you learn by seeing it then. And at one point, it's your turn. And I think I still think is the best system for yourself to be confident when you go on set. You know, because you have to have some kind of confidence. You can't just stand. You have so many people looking at you. You know, they all want to know what you're doing next. You're like, I don't know, get this black thing out there. So that's why I think it's good. You will earn the respect by the crew, and if you have that respect, they will support you. That's brilliant. Well, thank you for spending time to talk to us, Bebe. Fantastic to meet you.
I didn't bore you to death.
No, I'm still awake. This fantastic. It's good. Speak to you soon again, hopefully.
Okay.
Thank you.
You too.